What's up, YouTube? It's Morgan, also known as Jew, and currently I am still watching the Georgia Tech UCF game that is going on right now. The game is not quite over, but it pretty much is over. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on what I saw, what I thought they did really well, what I thought they did really poorly. Um, so I guess let's get into it. God, I'm frustrated. So these are not by any means the final stats. Obviously, there's still 4.5 minutes left in the game, but I just have it brought up so that there is a general idea. So Jeff Sims he had a really, really solid game. Not even just, I wish he used his legs more. I mean, he still had 9 attempts for 31 yards, but I think 3 or 4 of those were just indeed sacks and not actually him running the ball. Hassan Hall was a really bright spot in the offense as well as Jeff Sims, but Hassan Hall's ability to make plays was just amazing. He, not just on the return game, which he has been very good all season, but also in just terms of sheer playmaking. He has so far 7 carries for 54 yards, as well as the 3 receptions for 40 yards. He just has this ability to make plays well after he has the ball in his hands. Jeff Sims played a really perfect game. Honestly, there was just the one fumble, but Nate McCullum made a play from absolutely nowhere to save it, which at the time could have saved the game, but it did not. So, also with this, they held so UCF's quarterback John Rice Plumlee. He had 2 games this year of over 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. So far, he only has the 100 yards rushing, but he has the 49 yards passing. The pass defense for Georgia Tech was really, really good, but they just still cannot stop the run. And a lot of teams build their offense in college around the run game. With Geoff Collins not being able to defend the run game, some of the blame is on Geoff Collins for the defense. Mostly it's Andrew Thacker with the game planning. He game plans really well against the pass, but he cannot game plan against the run. Geoff Collins' part in all of this that I say is the special teams. These special teams might be the worst thing in college football, the worst special teams unit in college football, where there are 4 blocked punts. UCF has 1 offensive touchdown this game. 3 field goals, and a blocked punt return for a touchdown. The 4th blocked punt of the season. Tech missed 2 field goals that were pretty much gimmies at this point. They were, I believe, 30-yarders. Both of them were 30-yarders. Other than that, Charlie Thomas's second targeting of the year was just awful. It was a great tackle, but yeah, it was helmet to helmet. He needs to chill out with the helmet to helmet, because he knew what he did, and he flexes on the guy. He's surprised he didn't get a taunting either. But so UCF is going for a field goal currently, and it is right down the middle because their kicker is really, really good. It was on a 43-yard attempt. They probably had like 10 yards left to go on it. But so yeah, it just updated on the screen. But so Jeff Sims was a really bright spot passing, 305 yards passing. That's his highest of the season. Hassan Hall, the 7 carries for 54 yards and the 3 receptions for 40 yards. But overall, what this game says is either fix special teams immediately. There cannot be anything else. The kicker somewhat made up for it near the end of the game, near the end of the third when he made a field goal. He made a 42-yard field goal, which is tougher than the other 2. But overall, either Geoff Collins needs to stay on the UCF field and never return to the city of Atlanta, or they just need to fix special teams and become more consistent in offense. The play calling wasn't the issue on offense, besides the weird 4th and 3 goal line call, and I wish that they would use Jeff Sims' ability to scramble a little bit more, because UCF struggled this year against scrambling quarterbacks. Scrambling quarterbacks made offense against UCF, which is what we needed in this game. We got almost none of it. We have had no offense all season. But other than that, this game showed signs of life, but it also showed that we just don't care. Tech players don't care anymore. They're just kind of playing football to play football. They're not trying to win. If they get any bit of momentum, it just gets shattered in an instant, and then they're like, all right, whatever, let's just go get the drive done. They're not playing for anything. I think they don't care if Geoff Collins loses his job. I really don't. at this point, it looks like they really don't care. They don't care about them. They're just playing for themselves. They're not playing as a team anymore. I don't know. These stats, John Rice Plumlee struggled most of the game. The rushing stats are kind of inflated because he had the 28-yard run, and he's had a few big runs in the second half, or like in the fourth quarter. I wouldn't even say the second half. And Jeff Sims just got sacked again. But that's kind of a recurring theme for this season. Other than that, there's not really much else I have to say. I think that that Tech doesn't want to drop Geoff Collins right now because of how much money. But at this point, I don't think he can get much worse. I think that if you deal with him being the head coach for the rest of the season, you lose a lot more than you gain. The money is well worth the loss of Geoff Collins. Geoff Collins already shows that he loses recruits and the transfer window. Yeah, it brings in people like Hassan Hall and E.J. Jenkins, who E.J. Jenkins is a great piece. He has iffy hands, but he's a great piece. And then Hassan Hall is a great playmaker. But it also loses you players like Jahmyr Gibbs going to Alabama, of all places, and becoming the starting running back at Alabama, nonetheless. Overall, I don't really know what else to say from this game. Defense impressed a lot. There's just the one offensive touchdown and 4 field goals throughout the entire game. Charlie Thomas, be a little bit smarter of a player, but overall, I have nothing wrong with Charlie Thomas. Charlie Thomas is our X factor, literally, on defense. Also, how could I forget the stupid fucking penalties? The first drive that UCF had was almost 10 minutes long, and we had 4 penalties, all of them on 3rd or 4th down, causing them to get a first down. We were lucky UCF only came out of it with a field goal, but the penalties just killed us. Absolutely killed us. I don't know what else to say about it. It's the holding on a long 3rd down throw, or a short 3rd down throw, I don't remember. The holding, it's whatever. It happens in pass coverage. Yeah, it's a little bit like, what are you doing? But it's not like the end of the world. 3 offsides calls in the first 2 drives. 2 of them on 4th down. One of them on 4th down. On 4th and 1, I want to say. And then the second one was on a 3rd and 7. And it caused them to have a 3rd and 2, and they just ran up the middle. We could not stop them that first drive. This game for the defense was a lot of bend, don't break. The drives where it looked like UCF was going to dominate us, the drive was contained, like in just small pieces. There were no breakaway plays for the most part. It's just small little pieces chipping away, which in the long game hurts. It really, really hurts. I can't think of what I should say. Let me look at my notes real quick. I have notes from the beginning of the game. Kicking game has always been a struggle in the Collins era. We haven't had a reliable or even like just somewhat good kicker. I wouldn't even say somewhat good. We haven't had a somewhat decent kicker since Harrison Butker. This was it in June Kelly? I just know his last name's Kelly. It's Jay Kelly. But he has a leg. His accuracy is just a little bit in question because, I mean, he's missed, 4 field goals to start the year? And then we also have the 4 blocked punts. Special teams is just overall absolutely awful. The return side of special teams is beautiful. Hassan Hall and Nate McCullum returning the 2. They do a great job at returning their kicks. But in terms of giving the ball back to the other team, we are atrocious. Right? Giving the ball back, such as like a field goal or a punt. But giving it to them, we are atrocious. So, final thoughts on the game. Defense played really well. Jeff Sims played really well. Hassan Hall looks like a very big bright spot. I don't know why we're ever using McDuffie. Dylan McDuffie is averaging, I think, less than 2 yards per carry this season. And it should honestly stay that way. He should not touch the field more unless he's just that good of a blocker, but he should not be getting the ball, let alone on a 4th and 3. But defense played really well. Charlie Thomas, we'll be without him for the first half of the next game, whatever. Hassan Hall's bright piece. Jeff Sims shows he has an arm again. 314 yards as I'm talking. Malachi Carter and Nate McCullum they've been the receiving duo the past 2 years, but especially now. Kalani Norris, I wish he could get more involved. He makes just great plays when he makes plays. EJ Jenkins, a 6'7" monster. But other than that, I'm going to leave it at that. If you like this video, I'm probably going to do breakdowns of Georgia Tech football every week whenever they play a game. If not, I will find something college football related in other terms to break down. I don't want this to just become a Georgia Tech news channel or such, but Georgia Tech is a lifelong team for me. This will have a lot of Georgia Tech sports in football and basketball once basketball season starts, even though they will be worse than the football team, which is surprising to say. But other than that, if you like this video, please subscribe. Please like the video. If more content like this interests you, please comment down below what you would like to see. I'm going to go back to brutally beating myself up watching this game and hoping Geoff Collins gets fired. I'm going to be out. Peace.